So the first card we're looking into is the Warrior Quest. Place a Fire Plume's Heart. It's play 7 taunt minions, and the reward is Sulphurous. So Sulphurous is 3 mana 4/2 weapon. Your hero power becomes deal 8 damage to a random enemy. So it's like playing Major Domo, but it's easier to fulfill to getting the hero power without dying than with playing Major Domo. Rag is leaving, so this way you get to remember the good times with Rag and Rag going face and not obeying you with that 8 damage battle cry or hero power. So how good is this card? Mm, I'd say it's pretty decent. Warrior is getting good taunts overall. So if we look at the cards, taunt cards that Warrior has now, Blizzard has already been going for the taunt Warrior archetype with cards like Bolster and uh, Stolen Goods. And what was the 3 mana spell? Protect the King and such. And Warrior has the best taunts in the game, like Fierce Monkey. Well, maybe Ancient of War is the best taunt in the game at the moment, but they have Ally Smith, Bloodhoof Brave, so there's some pretty decent taunts. And playing 7 taunt minions in a Warrior deck at the moment is pretty reasonable if you're playing the control type of Warrior. So yeah, I see this quest being pretty easy to complete. The reward is decent. Of course, if you're playing a control warrior, uh, at the at the point where you get this quest done, you're going to have a decent amount of armor. So the fact that you're losing the armor hero power isn't so relevant because the delayed damage hero power will help you with closing out the game. It can deal 8 damage to the enemy's face every turn. It can help you clear if you used all your removal at that point. So yeah, this is a good quest for warrior, uh, and I definitely see this being played. Since Pirate Warrior will get shit on the expansion by all the counter cards. And what buffs this card even more is the fact that there will be many good taunt minions in the Angoro expansion, and we'll come back to them later. So let's move on to the next card. It's a Direhorn Hatchling. 5 mana 3/6 beast with a taunt. So 5 mana 3/6 taunt uh, is not good. But it has a death rattle, shuffle a 6/9 Direhorn with taunt into your deck. Um, so like Timmy is saying in the chat, taunt is cheat, and with this card, you're getting 2 taunts, so double cheating. So, what's bad in this card is that it shuffles the card into your deck. So you don't get it straight to your hand. It may take 10 turns or 5 turns to draw the 6/9 taunt. Uh, but but still, it's one card that adds 2 taunt cards to your deck, so you don't have to run so many taunt minions in your warrior quest deck. So that is pretty good. So I definitely see this being fit in some of those warrior quest decks, but not all, since it's a slow card. When you play it, you don't you lose much tempo, but warrior has been known to have good removal spells, so he doesn't have to play so many tempo minions. Oh yeah, it's the beast tag may do something because the warrior may want to even play curator and try to fit this in some kind of tempo mid-range warrior. But I think that would be boring. But then again, the quest reward that you get from completing the Fire's Plume Heart quest is it fits in that mid-rangey theme of warrior. Like uh, Dragon Warrior has been doing it for quite a while now, where they play kind of a mid-rangey tempo game, and they include Rag in their deck, and Rag is usually the big finisher. So what if you just play tempo minions in that deck and suddenly get a hero power that is Rag? Finley is leaving the rotation. Dragon Warriors have been running Finley because they don't benefit from the armor up hero power so much. As I was saying from this card, it's like the big brother of Patient Assassin. Yeah, it dies to a AoE removal spell uh, bit harder, or it's not so easy to kill with whirlwinds and maelstrom portals and such. So sometimes it gets the value of attacking with poisonous, but I think there are better ways to remove stuff with adapting to poisonous and such. So yeah, it's a pretty boring card. One out of five I would give it. I don't see competitive decks playing this card. Yeah. So let's just move straight on to the next card. Oh, and this is a good card. I like it. It's a hunter spell for 2 mana. Your hero power becomes give beast 2/2. So hunter in late game has always been a kind of a good class, but lacking the draw, so it cannot compete with other classes with bunch of cards in their hand, because hunter usually runs out of cards in the late game. But in the expansion, hunter will definitely get some card draw and will be able to play the late game more efficiently. So Dynamancy will be a good card. Hunter is very much relied around playing beasts, and the fact that you play 1/1 beast, give it +2/2, it's more power to the board compared to the fact that you would press your hero power, do 2 damage to your enemy's face. Okay, you've done 2 damage to your enemy's face. It's over. The 2 damage doesn't happen again. But when you give +2/2 to a minion on the board, it stays on the board. It becomes a threat in the next turn, uh, and then you can do this again, and it keeps on stacking. And like, I'd say it's a pretty damn bad comparison, but I'd still say this is like a better version of Hunter's hero power. Hunter will play Beast in their deck without this card, even without this card, so this is going to be, yeah. This is going to be a solid one-off in almost every hunter deck. Every hunter deck that is playing Beast, they will play this. It's a good card, good design. It's like Shadow Form. You could compare this with Shadow Form. Shadow Form is also it's 1 mana more expensive. So Shadow Form costs 3 mana, and then you ping a minion once with 2 damage. This kinda does the same thing, but if the minion, the beast you gave this +2/+2 stays on the board, uh, it's more impactful than Shadow Form. Because Shadow Form also does the 2 damage once, and then it's gone. It's never happening again unless you put another 2 mana on the next turn to your Shadow Form. And Inspire cards are leaving their standard rotation, so Shadow Form becomes a bit worse again, I guess. So will this card, so you can't Garrison Commander and play Dynamancy and give your beast +4/+4 in 1 turn, for example. But yeah, this card is good design, good card overall, very powerful, one of to be played in almost any deck. So I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I'm not actually sure what a 5 out of 5 requires, but yeah, this is at least a 4 out of 5. Next card is Grievous Bite. Hunter spell. It's like a smaller swipe, kind of 2 mana. Deal 2 damage to a minion and 1 damage to adjacent ones. It's a smaller version of Power Shot. Is it called Power Shot? Yeah, Power Shot. It's a smaller version of this card. Cost 1 less mana, but this is kind of what Hunter has been needing. Some removal spells. Power Shot is leaving the rotation. It's a Grand Tournament card, so Hunter won't have that anymore. So a Grievous Bite will surely be needed in a Hunter deck. For example, in a mirror match. In a Hunter mirror match, this will be an awesome card. You could combo this with the Wild Pyromancer. It's already 2 damage to all minions, or not to all, but yeah, you get the point. It's pretty good with Wild Pyromancer, and I mean Hunter's removal has been around Unleash the Hounds, and yeah, it's a pretty bad way to play a 3 mana spell and trade the Hounds with 1/1, so something like that. So that's a bad way. Bad removal tool for Hunter. In aggro matchup, it's of course used and has been used in the past. But yeah, explosive shot is kind of lacking in power also, and you can play around explosive shot easily. If explosive shot were ever in the meta, everyone would start playing around it. But will people stop playing around Grievous Bite? I'm not sure. Maybe, but I think this is also a good card. Uh, 3.5 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. Yeah, I like it. I like the design again, and the art is cool. Yeah, so let's move on to the next card. We got tons of card ahead of us. Jeweled Macaw, Battle Cry, add a random beast to your hand. So it's a 1 mana 1/1. But if you're playing the Hunter quest, you never play this on turn 1. This is also a good card. It's a swashbuckler for rogues. It's a babbling book. Swashbuckler for hunters. It's a babbling book for hunters. It's a kind of a web spinner in a way, except it's better than web spinner since it gives you the card straight away. It progresses your quest, the hunter quest that you need to play 1-drops. It's good with a Stampede, a card we're coming on to later on. The 1-mana spell that requires you to play beasts to get beasts. Overall, this is a good card. A very good card. It may not be exciting, but Blizzard has been trying to give these kind of cards to every class. Like Priest got the 1-mana 1/1 elemental, Rogue has Swashbuckler, Mage has a Babbling Book. They've been trying to give every class like turn 1 play, because I think Blizzard thinks that just passing on turn 1 is boring. Of course, in the expansion, everyone will get quests. Not everyone will play them, so that's a turn 1 play always. But yeah, this card, I don't like the random element, but I guess it's irrelevant in a way that this card alone doesn't give you much power. So you could have a shitty beast like an angry chicken put into your hand, but then again you can cycle it with Stampede. And yeah, or you could get like King Crush that you can't get out of your hand in a long time. Yeah, it's a 4 out of 5 card still will be played in every hunter deck that runs the quest for sure, and maybe other hunter decks also because it's a value minion. Uh, so let's move on to the next card. Uh, it's Stonehill Defender, 3-mana, 1/4 taunt, battlecry, discover taunt minion. I see where this card is trying to get. It obviously has some synergies with the warrior quest, but still it's a boring and a bad card. I mean, why would you play this? I mean, it's a 1/4 taunt. It's like the ape. What's it called? Silverback Patriarch. It's like Silverback Patriarch. So yeah, of course you get discover taunt minion. It doesn't give you value right away. It's a slow play. Of course, it gives you options. Discover is always a good mechanic since it gives you like options to like, okay, the game has been progressing this way. Now I would need a certain minion for certain amount of mana. So there you get 3 options. You choose the best fitting for the situation. So that's why Discover is good, but I still think this card is bad and it won't get played. Of course, there's the thing that if you play the Warrior Quest, for example, you don't want to play like 14 taunt minions in your deck. You may want to add cards like these to your deck, so you only take up 1 card slot to get 2 taunt minions to progress your quest. So, yeah, that's that's the only way I'm going to see this being played. That the warrior goes very greedy with his deck building. I mean, yeah, with 2 mana this would be played. It wouldn't be OP, but yeah, it would be okay. It would be played in in the warrior quest deck. That's true. So at 3 mana, one out of 5. Ornery Direhorn, 6 mana 5/5 taunt battle cry adapt. So how good is adapt? So, like I'm still not sure. I've seen adapt cards in play in the stream. I've thought about adapt a lot. I even made a video about adapt mechanic, and I'm still not sure how powerful is the adapt mechanic actually. So you could make this a 5/8 taunt with 6 mana. That sounds pretty broken. You could make this a 5/5 with Divine Shield, so a better Sun Fury Protector, but then again, it dies to Shadow Word Death. You could make this 8/5, and it becomes bad. So the adapt is a good mechanic for sure, and with this card, uh, it's not so powerful in this card, in my opinion, since this already have a taunt, and you always have the option to get to choose taunt from the adapt. It doesn't look at whether the card already has taunt. So there may be always one dead option. Then there may be like two dead options already if you have like taunt and wind fury. Why the hell would you want wind fury on this thing? No, you wouldn't want wind fury on this thing. And then there could be a third bad option like 3 attack, so 8/5 bad. Uh, uh, I don't think this card is good, and I don't think people will include this in their tone. Or maybe they will at the beginning try to include this, but they will at some point come to the conclusion that this is not a good card. It's still a decent card, like two out of 5. Of course, I could be horribly wrong, and the adapt on this thing could be powerful as fuck. I mean, the adapt on this thing is powerful as fuck if you get the +3 health, +1/+1, divine shield, can't be targeted with spells. In those situations, this is a good card. But there are so many situations when the adapt just goes horribly wrong, and this is shit. So yeah, 2 out of 5.